Hey, Alex from cnc-o-rama. I just have a cool trick I want to show you. So if you have a mill part that you have programmed and you want to have multiple of that part set up on your table, all with different work offsets, um, one way is to create your own handwritten main program and then run all that as a subprogram. But if you're using Fusion, you can have it do all that hard work for you. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So we got our program all here. It's facing, doing a contour around, and then doing some drilling and tapping. And if I post this now, I'll get my program. So it's a program we would expect. All right, so let's say I want to run 4 of this. So I'm going to go back into my setup. I'm going to run 4 of the same part. So I'm going to click this multiple WCS offsets. So first of all, WCS offset 1, that's G54. So 2 is G55 and so on. Pop up. So I'm going to click the multiple WCS offsets, and I'm going to say I want 4 instances of this part, and I want to increment the WCS offset by 1, so I should have G54, G55, G56, and G57. And then operation order, I can say I want to order by tool. That's probably the most efficient way of doing it. So I'm using a 1/2" end mill to both face and then do this outer contour. So it should do both those on each part and then switch tools to the next. So, and then I have 2 NC programs, one for Fanic and one for Haas. We can look at both of them. So I'll post process for the Fanic. And now let's see. So I have a facing. So I have G54, I'm facing. And then G54, let's see. Facing, and then 2D contour, sorry. And then I switch to G55 and I'm doing the facing and 2D contour, G56, so on. And then once I'm past all the facing and contours, now I'm back to G54 and I'm doing my spot drill. And then I'm doing G55 in my spot drill, and so on. So you get that. Another thing is we're not being very efficient because we're just basically all we're doing is we're changing the work offset number and then reposting all the same code. So if I want to do this a little bit more efficiently, there's options for that too. So if I come into my NC program for my Fanic, under preferences, I have use subroutines, and you can kind of mess around with this, but for now I'm just going to do patterns, and I'll post that. Here. So it's got face. So what we have here is it's kind of setting up the toolpath, and then it has this M98 P1003. So what that is doing, it's calling a subprogram that's at the very end of the program, or subroutine. Sorry, it's not a separate program, it's a subroutine. So it does G54 face and 2D contour, again with these subroutines. And then we switch to G55, do the same thing, G56, and so on. And then we get down to our spot drilling. Let's do our G54 spot drill, then our G55, G56, and G57. And so you get the idea. I'm just going to go down to the bottom of the program. And here is what it's calling. So for our facing, it actually has a separate O number down towards the bottom of the program. You can see the M30 is actually right here. So that's where our program ends. But when it calls these subroutines, it's finding this O number and calling that. So you want to be careful that you're not reusing this O number. I guess from my understanding, if there's another O number, O1003, saved in your controller, it's going to find this one first, the internal O1003. But you probably want to not do that. So that's how it's going to work on Phoenix. So it'll call these routines, and then when it hits the M99 at the end of the routine, it jumps back to where the M98 called it. Okay, so let's look really quick at how Haas does it. So on my Haas, also under preferences, use subroutines. I'm going to say patterns. I'll post that. Okay, so Haas does something a little bit different. So instead of M98, so M98 can call either a subroutine or a subprogram, and that can be a little confusing for the controller where it's not sure if it's looking for an internal O number or an external O number. Haas kind of solved that problem by switching to M97. So if you're on Haas, you can use M97, which tells it it's internal to the program. And instead of looking for an O number, now it's looking for a line number. So we go look down below our M30, we should have a line number N30 or sequence number with an N, or yeah, sequence number 90,000 and 90,001, etc. So this basically works the same. Oh, let's see, I'm already there. Here's our M. So again, there's M97s. Okay, here's our M30. And then below it, we have these N numbers, these sequence numbers that are being called. And then at the bottom of that is the M99, which tells it to jump back to where the M97 called it and continue on. So the controller with both these programs, the controller is jumping around in the program a lot. But the upside is you only have all your code posted once. Yes, you're not redundant with your code. And in the case that you had to hand edit something, let's say, especially like on a drilling routine, you might hand edit like your Z depth to get just the right chamfer diameter. You wouldn't have to edit that in 4 different places. You could just do it right. So that's the tip. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.